Imagine the lights of a Wednesday night, the world watching, and our Chicago Bears stepping into the Lions' den in Seattle. It sounds like something out of a dream, but reports are surfacing that this could be our reality to kick off the 2026 season. As a seasoned insider, I can feel the energy shifting in Halas Hall already because this isn't just another game. It's a massive statement. Before we break down this seismic schedule leak, make sure to subscribe and join our passionate Bears family for more updates. Caleb Williams is the name on everyone's lips as the NFL world reacts to the possibility of a historic season opener in the Pacific Northwest. According to Michael Wilbon on ESPN, our Chicago Bears are potentially scheduled to start the 2026 campaign on a Wednesday night against the reigning Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. This would be a massive stage for our young roster and a direct challenge to the culture being built under head coach Ben Johnson. While official confirmation won't arrive until Brad Biggs and other reporters get the full schedule in May, the logic behind this matchup is incredibly sound. The league loves a high-stakes narrative, and there is nothing bigger than the rising stars of the Midway taking on the Kings of the Mountain. We almost saw this clash in the playoffs last year, but a heartbreaking loss to the Rams kept us from that destiny. Now the schedule makers might be giving us the chance we missed. This game would be filled with fascinating storylines beyond just the final score. We recently added former Seattle safety Kobe Bryant to our secondary, and you can bet he is itching for a chance to show his former team that they made a mistake letting him go. Even the mention of Velus Jones Jr. brings a bit of lighthearted intrigue to the roster depth as we prepare for such a physical battle. Facing a championship team on their banner night is a daunting task, but it also presents a unique opportunity. The Seahawks will be riding an emotional high, but history tells us that teams often struggle with a Super Bowl hangover in their first game back. If our coaching staff can have the players ready to exploit that potential sluggishness, we could shock the world before the first Sunday of the season even kicks off. We are no longer a team that can fly under the radar. The rest of the league is circling our games because they know we are a legitimate threat. Being the hunted is a new feeling for this franchise, but it is exactly where we want to be. This Wednesday night showdown would be the ultimate proof that our time has finally arrived and that we can truly hang with the best. Stepping into the roar of Lumen Field is a challenge that can break even the most experienced veterans in this league. The 12th man is famous for creating an atmosphere that makes communication nearly impossible, which puts an immense amount of pressure on our offensive line and our young leader at quarterback. Every single cadence and every silent count must be executed with perfection to avoid the momentum-killing penalties that often plague visiting teams in that stadium. We have spent years building a roster capable of handling these high-pressure environments, and this game would be the ultimate litmus test for that growth. Our offensive mastermind on the sidelines will need to design a game plan that accounts for the noise and the speed of the Seattle defense. This isn't just about X's and O's, it's about the mental toughness required to stay composed when the stadium is literally shaking. If the offense can establish a rhythm early, it will go a long way toward neutralizing the home field advantage. We also need to see how our defensive front handles the task of chasing down a championship-caliber backfield. The intensity of a Week 1 game is always high, but when you add the primetime spotlight of a Wednesday night, it becomes a powder keg of emotion. This matchup serves as a perfect measuring stick for the entire organization. We need to know if we are truly ready to compete with the elite teams in the NFC. There is no better way to find out than by facing the best on their own turf. A victory would send a message to every other team in the North that the power dynamic has shifted. It would validate all the hard work that has gone into this rebuild over the last several seasons. The fans have been patient through the lean years, and they deserve a team that can stand tall in the biggest moments. This game represents the culmination of that patience. It is an opportunity to show that we are not just a team on the rise, but a team that has officially arrived. The stakes couldn't be any higher for this group in our city. Victory in this opening game would do more than just add a 1 to the win column for our beloved franchise. It would provide a massive surge of confidence that could propel this team through the most difficult stretches of the upcoming schedule. When you prove to yourselves that you can beat the best team in the world in their own house, you stop fearing anyone else. That kind of psychological edge is priceless in a league where games are often decided by a single possession. A win would also give us a huge head start in the race for playoff positioning, which is vital given how tough Michael Wilbon expects our schedule to be. We might play better football this year and still find it hard to reach 11 wins because of the caliber of our opponents. That makes every single game a must-win situation starting from the very first snap. On the other hand, we have to consider the reality of a potential loss. If we struggle on such a big stage, the national media will immediately start to doubt if our rebuild was overhyped. It could create a sense of urgency and pressure that might be difficult for a young locker room to manage so early in the year. However, a loss against the champions wouldn't be a season ender. It would be a clear map of what still needs to be fixed. We would see exactly where our weaknesses lie when they are exposed by a top-tier opponent. This game is essentially a high-stakes laboratory where we get to test our theories against the toughest possible variables. The unusual Wednesday timing also creates a ripple effect for the rest of the month. It gives our players a long layoff before the second game, which is a massive advantage for recovery and extra film study. If used correctly, that extra time can help us stack wins early in the season. We need our playmakers to understand the magnitude of this moment. Every catch, every block, and every tackle will be scrutinized by the entire football world. This is the stage where stars are born and legacies are forged. Our Bears have a chance to start something special. The best-case scenario for this trip to Seattle is almost too exciting to put into words. Imagine our defense coming out and absolutely smothering the Seahawks' offense while our own playmakers move the ball with surgical precision. If we can jump out to an early lead and take the crowd out of the game, it would be one of the most significant regular season wins in recent memory. The flight back to Chicago would be a celebration of a team that has finally realized its potential. The city would be buzzing for weeks as we prepare for the home opener. It would set a tone of dominance that hasn't been felt around here in a long time. But we must also prepare for the tension of a close, hard-fought battle. What if the game comes down to a final drive in the fourth quarter? Those are the moments where true leaders are made. We need to see that fire in the eyes of our players when the pressure is at its peak. On the opposite side, the worst-case scenario involves a lack of discipline and a failure to handle the environment. If we allow the noise to cause turnovers, or if the defense can't get off the field on third down, it could be a long night for everyone involved. A lopsided loss on national television would be a bitter pill to swallow for a fan base that is expecting greatness. It would force the coaching staff to answer tough questions right out of the gate. That is the inherent risk of playing the champions on night one. There is no ramp-up period and no time to find your footing. You either perform or you get exposed. This contrast between ultimate glory and total frustration is what makes being a football fan so thrilling and so stressful at the same time. We are all buckled in for the ride because we believe this team is different. We believe the days of moral victories are over. It is time for results. The tension is building already, and we still have months to go before the first kickoff. This is the beauty of the NFL. This potential season opener against the Seattle Seahawks is the ultimate prove-it moment for our Chicago Bears. It represents a massive leap in expectations and a clear sign that the league views us as a premier attraction once again. While the challenge of playing the defending champions on a Wednesday night is daunting, it is exactly the kind of test a championship-caliber team should embrace. We have the talent, we have the coaching, and we have the most loyal fans in the world behind us. Now, it is simply a matter of execution under the brightest lights in sports, but I want to hear from you. Do you think starting the season against the champs is a good thing for our development? Are you worried about the noise in Seattle, or do you think our guys can handle the pressure? Share your thoughts in the comments below because your voice matters to this community. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated on everything related to our team. Make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss a breaking story. Bear down!